Welcome to Seahawk Talk on February 3, 2021. I'm Ed Habishaw, co-hosting with
Andrew Pizzelli.
On today's show, we feature special guests, head men's ice hockey coach Zach Klahn, head women's basketball coach Corey Hughes, assistant athletic director Matt Finlayson, director of athletics Jody Meridian, and our head field hockey coach Jen Foster. We'll also be joined by our new producer. His name is Gavin Parent. You see him on the screen now. But before we go to our Seahawk Talk on today, we're going to go to The Shake. We are live every Wednesday now from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. You can find us on YouTube, on Facebook Live, and now on Twitch TV. We'd love you to subscribe, like, and follow on each platform, and we welcome your comments throughout the live broadcast. Many we'll share on screen, but it's at our discretion.
I got to say, Ed, it's been a while since I heard The Shake. I think it had maybe just left being stuck in my head, but now it's back.
It's back. The audio portion of this broadcast will also be uploaded to our podcast site at Seahawk Talk Sounder FM. So, hey, welcome back. It's good to have you on the show.
Yeah. Hey, new year, season 3, ready to rock and roll.
All right, 12/32/30. Let's bring in our new producer. We had Michael and Joey last semester, and here's a feature on what we did last semester. Wonderful over 80 episodes of Seahawk Talk and over 140 unique guests. 2 of them are returning today. Actually, Matt Finlayson never joined us during season 2 of Seahawk Talk, but we did have Jody Meridian and Jen Foster, and also Zach Klahn and Corey Hughes, who are on today's reboot in season 3.
It's like a blur. I see those numbers and it's kind of unbelievable. But it's like, it happened. It's real. That did happen. 2020 did happen, even though it's a blur.
80 episodes from August 31 to January 1. So from the last day of August in 2020 to the first day of January and the first day of the year in 2021. It was a blur, but it happened. And typically, we had Zach Klahn on Fridays and Corey Hughes on Fridays, but now that we've reduced our program to Wednesdays only, because we're hoping to have live competition in the afternoons and evenings on weekdays, and then all day during the day on weekends. So isn't going to happen soon enough, but
hey, hump day. It'll help. Seeing their faces will help get us through the week.
So now I'm going to bring in our new producer, Gavin Parent. You saw him briefly there on screen when we first came live after the countdown. Gavin, welcome to Seahawk Talk. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Very good. We've done a lot of work off air, and now we're finally able to bring Seahawk Talk back to the screen. You got about a half minute to tell us why you're doing this internship.
So my name's Gavin Parent, as you mentioned. I'm a senior at Salve Regina. I grew up around sports my entire life, playing football, basketball, lacrosse, soccer when I was younger, and now I'm a member of the rugby team here at Salve. So I've always been around sports, and I knew that sports broadcasting would be kind of a field I'd be interested in. So when I talked to Michael DeFusco, who was a producer on the show last year, he kind of told me the details, and this is definitely something that I want to get involved in and see where it takes me.
That is outstanding timing, Gavin, because now it's 12:35, and we're bringing in our first guest, Zach Klahn. Zach, say hello to Gavin and Andrew and myself.
Hey, guys. How's everything?
Oh, good.
Excellent.
How's things in Jamestown?
Hey, everything's good. Everything's good here. A little bit of snow the other day, but no, things are good. Nice and quiet.
Do you still have any snowmen out in the yard?
It just fell over. It just fell over this morning.
It's melting. All right. Say hello and goodbye to Gavin Parent. We're going to send him to the backstage and welcome Zach Klahn into the Seahawk Talk studio. Zach, what's been happening since January 1 for you?
It's definitely busy recruiting right now. So that aspect has been it's been very busy. On the good hunt right now. The guys are back on the ice right now. They returned, back into classes, and we're able to train off ice and on ice right now. So a little bit of normalcy, but just taking it day by day. Hello,
Andrew, any other questions?
Oh, no, I was going to let you go ahead. You talk about the being able to train and practice. How important is it for those guys to still be able to have that, to be able to keep practicing, staying together? I mean, all of that's critically important, not just for the physical side, but also for a lot of the mental aspect of all this stuff for those guys, too, to stick together.
Again, it has been a very challenging year. It's been a year where there's a lot of things that are just out of your control. So what we keep telling is the guys is, control what you can control. Make sure that, you're still bettering yourself as an athlete and a student athlete in the classroom, and then, on the ice and in the gym. So, it's disappointing for some of the guys. But, being able to, work on skill development, get the freshman class, kind of seeing what it's like to play here, get some system stuff going. So it's great to be able to get on the ice with the guys right now and continue to grow the program.
In a normal year, obviously, whatever the athletes are going through, you talk to them, but you're focused on the season. It's about getting through the season and focusing on game stuff. How much more have you had to have those conversations and get input from the players themselves this year about how to best handle all of this, because it's such more of a personal year?
Absolutely. We're really taking advantage of the time of just getting to know, the guys more on a personal level, meeting for coffee, just having Zoom calls on the phone, and then being able to see them, when we're at the rink. For us, there's a lot of communication going back and forth of just how things are going, how they're doing, mentally, physically. But again, it's been a very trying year for these guys, and I commend them just on how they're carrying themselves and how they're showing up to practice every day and getting better. And that they're, doing very well in the classroom. We had a very good semester, in the classroom. So very proud of that. And again, have to just commend the guys on, putting one foot forward every single day and bettering themselves.
Yeah. How much have the coaches had to coach themselves through all this? Because I'm sure it's just as much of a whirlwind for you guys as it is the players. I'm sure you guys have learned a lot about each other and about yourselves.
Absolutely. It's definitely challenging for everybody. Not just the players, but, you talk to other coaches, everyone that's a part of the athletic department. It's definitely been a challenging year. So, being able to have conversations with other coaches that are going through the same things, and you pick up little things, you're able to share little things on how you get through. But for us, it's almost like an extended off season with the opportunity to, be able to work with our guys on the ice and in the gym. So for us, it's a kind of a double recruiting year. It's definitely been a long year of recruiting. but it's a fun part of the job. So being able to get to know the guys a little bit more on a personal level has been awesome. And also just being able to practice now and work on developing the new guys and the older guys as well. So it's definitely has had its challenges, but we look forward to what next is to come here for us.
Well, we're going to bring another guest and one of those coaches you talked about having those conversations with, going through the same thing. Welcome, Corey Hughes.
Thank you. How are you?
Very good.
Hey, Corey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Have you and Zach commiserated on what has transpired over this semester?
We actually did on Monday. We had a conversation on Monday actually about everything that's kind of going on. It's as you touched on, it's challenging as a coach as well. I mean, it's certainly, I think, a lot more difficult. We both had our opportunity to compete, and that's now over. We're now competing in a different way, and this is their opportunity. So certainly is hard, but I was just thinking about the fact that this is the first time in 39 years that I'm not competing in some way in the winter. And it's very, very strange. I've really kind of lost my bearing, I mean, ever since I've been playing, and then I went right into coaching after that, and I've coached ever since. So it's a strange, surreal feeling to not actually be putting on, a suit and getting on the sideline and coaching these young women. So it's odd.
Well, it's good that you have company to share that feeling with. Zach, thanks for joining us. We're going to enjoy our conversation we enjoyed our conversation with you. We'll enjoy one with Corey. Thanks for joining us on Seahawk Talk, Zach.
Awesome. Great to see you guys.
See you, Zach.
That's Zach Klahn, our head men's ice hockey coach in his fourth year. And now we're joined by Corey Hughes. Corey, welcome to the program, and
thank you.
Welcome back. When we last saw Corey Hughes on Seahawk Talk, we weren't showing you live, but we were showing images of you in your winter hiking in the mountains of Vermont, I believe.
New Hampshire, but yeah.
White Mountains.
Yeah, White
So
Mountains.
jealous. So jealous.
But
yeah, it was fun.
little did we know then that you actually weren't hiking on January 1. Tell us why.
No. I actually had sprained my ankle pretty badly, and still actually kind of dealing with that. But we decided between that and the weather that we wouldn't be going for a hike that day. So it was a little bit disappointing, but it's okay. More hikes to come.
So wait a minute. Those were old pictures. We got the whole.
That was the week before. Yep. That's the only bright spot, actually, to all of this is, that's something that I typically would not be able to do. Every Saturday, every weekend is taken with games when you're a coach, and that's fine with me. But it really does put a cramp in your style when it comes to being able to get out in the winter and enjoy the outdoors a little bit. So it was nice to get out and do that, and hopefully I'll be able to do that again.
I found that I was able to explore. I had wanted to go to New Hampshire a lot, but obviously for a period of time, travel restrictions were what they were. I found it was an opportunity for me to find out how much more was in my backyard that I was just ignoring because I wanted the White Mountains. I wanted to go up and be on the mountains and above tree line, and can't get that in Rhode Island. But I was able to find so much more just great stuff around here as well. It's crazy when you say that 39 years not being on the sideline. I mean, you start to forget. From my perspective, too, I think it's going to be just as surreal when we are back on a court or on a sideline. How long do you think it'll take to adjust to that, or will it be 5 minutes and the surrealness will be gone and you'll be yelling at an official about not calling a foul?
5 seconds, not even 5 minutes. 5 seconds. It's certainly like riding a bike. I mean, and I'm itching to do it. So it's interesting because certainly my focus is different now with practice. I mean, we're not preparing for competition. Specifically, we're not preparing for an opponent that's within view anyway. And it's made me certainly change my demeanor, I think, in practice. I think the kids would say I'm a little bit more relaxed. But, we're still like, Zach was saying, we're still getting better every day. They're still showing up and getting it done and still maintaining intensity, which is important. We don't want to dismiss this opportunity to get better. And they're taking it pretty seriously. And on the other hand of that, they know that this is their opportunity.
Yeah.
We can't wait until, we've gotten to a phase, and hopefully that will be soon, that we're able to scrimmage, because that's what that's what we really want is at least to play this game again. And right now, they're hanging in there, working on individual skills, really abiding by all the protocols, but they're just itching to run up and down the floor with each other, to play the game that they love, like it's a game. And I actually had this kind of, sad and surreal moment, standing at half court with Tony during practice, and they were doing this drill that we've done a million times, and they were doing it really well. They were doing it with a lot of intensity, and I thought, this is the last time that this team will be this team. Yeah. And it's different when you're competing, because you're caught up in that, and knowing that these seniors, Brooke and Mary, might not have that opportunity. It just really struck me.
Yeah.
Just made me very sad, because they're never going to be able to know what they could have been as a team, this dynamic as these kids. And a lot of these kids will be back, and a lot of these kids played together last year, but this team will never be together again. And so for me, it was sad. I really wish, just like everybody does, that we would have had that opportunity to see what we could have done. And now we're just going to have to speculate, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say we were the conference champs.
I won't. Hey, I can't argue. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Well, you can also have Mary and Brooke join us for Seahawk to Seahawk next week on February 9, as we'll transition to our next guest, Matt Finlayson. Matt,
hey,
say
Corey,
hello to
how are
Corey
you?
and Andrew.
Hey, man, how are you?
Doing all right.
Corey,
yeah, Seahawk to Seahawk, we're really excited about the outpouring of support from our former Seahawks has been just really unbelievable. When reaching out to all these alumni, myself being one of them, they have been more than willing to help out in any way possible. And I think the empathy that they have towards student athletes, they realize what the Salve experience being a student athlete did for them. And now our students are missing some aspects of that. Like Corey said, they'll never know what this team could have accomplished because in all likelihood, not every student athlete is going to come back and be a part of that same team. But I think as coaches and administrators, what we try to do is fill the void and the gap for these student athletes, realizing that they're competitive and, growing adults. So we have a great lineup of ADJ, business, cybersecurity, education, nursing, frontline workers, people that graduated in 96, 97, and even nurses like Bill's daughter, Maddie, that her first year entering that career field, 2020, like, hello. So it should be really good, and our juniors and seniors will be able to not miss out on the networking, guidance, and even it's led to jobs before. So we're hoping to continue that.
Finney, this is always a great event. Do you think it's kind of more important this year than ever before because of what you said? I mean, maybe normally juniors and seniors, even when you're a senior and it's the second semester, you're probably trying, it's like ignorance. You're like, nah, the real world, it's not coming yet. These kids have been having to maybe think about the real world since last March if they were a junior, and if they're a senior, obviously maybe not knowing what's going to happen for them athletically. I mean, the real world is really right around the corner, and it's been in their face this whole time. If there's ever a chance to get to know exactly what's waiting for them, this is the year where they've probably been thinking about this all year long, right?
Yeah, you bring up a great point. And also the other thing is the real world has changed. Look what we're doing now.
Yeah, exactly.
We're meeting on Zoom. How does someone that wants to be an accountant get into an office and shake hands or do things like that? How have jobs changed? How have landing jobs changed? How has career advancement been impacted by the pandemic. And are some of these things here to stay? Some of the technology that we use and the interview process, what's that going to look like? How should resumes look? Should things be more interactive? So there's a lot of changes, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from all of our former Seahawks on how their job has changed. I think some would say that it's probably more stressful, like police or nurses, and they're putting themselves in positions where, they're hands-on with the virus. So other careers maybe have changed. We have some executives from the banking industry. Maybe they've done more touchless or seamless transactions and have introduced new technologies for their users and new platforms and things like that. So it's going to be really interesting, but it is true what you're saying, that this year it's vital for our student athletes not to miss out on the networking and guidance, because the former Seahawks do want to help out. It's been awesome. Even hearing people call me by my nickname, Finney, you don't hear that every day, but when you're reaching out to people you went to college with and maybe saw at O'Brien's senior year, right? It's just really welcoming, and that community is special. It's going to stay special long after 2021 and 2020. So the support and what our past Seahawks want to do for our current Seahawks is a very special thing.
Well, Finney, we're going to bring on two more guests in a crossover segment here. Jody Meridian, our Director of Athletics, and Jen Foster, our head field hockey coach. Thank you, Finney, for giving us a heads up on Seahawk to Seahawk Talk for next Tuesday. That was a program that Jody Meridian instituted here just 5 years ago, and it's been flourishing and certainly going virtual with your help, Matt. So thank you very much.
I started as a mentor, and now we're all running it together.
Excellent. Matt, take care. We're going to transition to National Girls and Women in Sports Day. So good having you on, Matt, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
See you, Finney.
That's Matt Finlayson, our Assistant Director of Athletics at Salve Virginia University. Now on the screen, Andrew Pizzelli, myself, and Jen Foster, and Jody Meridian. And the reason why we're bringing them in, you can see the scroll at the bottom with National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Jen Foster did such a wonderful job of collecting quotes from our athletes, whether they be freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, and we have that to share with you today. But Jen and Jody, if you can talk about what this day means for you. 34 years ago, 1987, the very first National Girls and Women in Sports Day was started, and then in every state throughout the country, organizations are paying tribute to the landmark legislation that has helped grow women in sports, girls and women in sports.
Yeah. So thanks for having us on. First, I want to say what a great job Jen's done with this day, making a real experience for young women in the area. So we hope we'll be able to do that later on when we can all be together. But Title IX was the landmark legislation that allowed women to have more opportunities, and the growth of women's sports has been phenomenal. And even when you look at statistics, the growth has just increased, and the experience and the participation and the things that sports teaches women and men is instrumental to future success. So I know I always like to say quickly, but I think it's something like 80% of all women that are in Fortune 500 companies have participated in sports. But I'll let Jen talk about it. And it's just such a important thing. And I've been able to actually watch women's sports grow from the sidelines. And so I'll let Jen go, but she's really been the key to our outreach and making this a memorable day.
Yeah, we started the girls sports clinic, I don't even know how many years ago now. And, the past couple of years when we had it, it grew really, large, reaching out to the Newport, Middletown, and Portsmouth communities, especially. I have a young daughter that's in the school district, so I really wanted this to be a big part of it, and just to see the little girls come in and see the sports that they've never even played, especially field hockey. Most of them, none of the public schools on the island even have field hockey. So, to see them, pick up a field hockey stick for the first time and interact with our student athletes is an awesome experience. I know my daughters loved it. So, just growing the game in any way we can. I know personally seeing alums go on and coaching is really rewarding. We have several alums recently that are now high school coaches, and we even have an alum that's a collegiate coach, Abby Pepper at Westchester. So, it's not just about playing the sports, but also being involved as a coach or referee or anything. So, continue to, celebrate the success and know that we still have a long way to come. It's obviously always improvement in ways we can continue to grow the opportunities, but it's been great to reach out, and hopefully COVID will go away and we can start bringing that clinic back and interacting with the youth in the area.
And isn't it true, Jen, that your students seems like almost as excited as the younger ones when we get to be together and they help them with the sport and everything?
Yeah, they love it, just being able to, teach what to have someone look up to you. I always tell my players that you're role models, no matter if you like it or not, you're going to be a role model. They're going to look up to you. I see it when we run our summer camps and everything, the girls just eat them up, love being around the older girls and seeing what they do. So, it's a great experience for everyone involved, from the kids to our college athletes.
Yeah. And even don't you see it? I always have seen it carry over to the classroom, and just the confidence that comes from sports. That's what's enabling our young women to stand up for who they are and to look at every field they want to join. I know your team has, extremely high GPAs, and also they're involved in everything.
Yeah, you just reading these quotes coming up, I collected all these, but even I did it on our team and collected all our quotes and put it on our Instagram, and just seeing what the girls have learned, how they've been impacted. Yes, it's about the X's and O's and they've learned the sport, but it's like the time management, the discipline, the motivation, obviously the friendships that come from being a part of a sports team, I think are, the lifeline of it all. Being a part of something bigger than you is, something that really stands out with all these quotes and how they've been impacted. And just to see that you can overcome adversity, which has obviously been really important this year, and the perseverance piece of it. I know that's something that we always say, but to actually live this type of year where, things are kind of being taken from you left and right, you can persevere through it. You're going to be stronger for it. So I think our athletes are going to, be okay. You may not feel it at times, but I think in general, they have learned so much from being a part of these teams and being a part, sports their whole life.
Yeah, and I think that what you said is true. Getting through this tough time has been something we don't want them to do, but we've also seen how much they step up during this just to support each other, and really their desire to get back out together as a team, even though, track, we're looking at pictures now, even if they're individually at different levels. But I've been so pleased to see how our young college women have really taken over and made it better for their teammates. And I think they recognize how important it is to be part of something bigger and to be able to overcome adversity. And they've really shown that this year. So we just want to celebrate all of our great young women, our coaches who coach the young women. I mean, couldn't be more proud. And thanks, Jen, for everything you do, because it is amazing, your own path. And now I like to watch your daughter with all the big kids.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's been, playing high school sports and going into college. And, I knew I wanted to be around athletics. I would never have probably envisioned being a head coach, but, the opportunity came, and, 15 years later, I'm still here. And, it's been an awesome experience. Every day's different. That's the greatest part of the job. It's not a desk job, that's for sure. You're always on the go, always. It's part of your life and it's ingrained, but it's been great to, share with the family too, as I've had children, and having them around here and at the games and stuff is really exciting.
Yeah.
I'd love to know, have we had any legacy people with our clinic that we've run? Like anybody that came back and said like, hey, I came to this clinic when I was 13 and now I'm the captain of the hockey team, or have we got to do some digging, because I'm sure there's definitely got to be cases.
Yeah, it could be. I know I had some girls that came to our clinic and then ended up showing up at our field hockey camp, things like that. They came up years later. So I'm sure they're out there, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's been wonderful. And even just Andrew and Ed doing this, like, to think that we can celebrate women in athletics. And it's been a long journey from 1982. So appreciate everybody that supports these young women. And I just love to see how much it helps everybody grow.
Absolutely.
Well, Jody and Jen, thanks for joining us and sharing not only the content that we were able to show on screen, but also your thoughts on the impact of National Girls and Women in Sports Day and how we can continue to foster the growth of that area.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Take care. That's Jody Moradian and Jen Foster. I'm Ed Habashar. Thanks to our co-host, Andrew Pizzelli, and our producer backstage was Gavin Parent. We are up against 1 o'clock. We want to be really tight with this Seahawk Talk this year, this semester. Once again, we're live every Wednesday, 12:30 to 1 p.m. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook Live, and on Twitch TV. It's our new format. And Andrew, I saw earlier that we had 4 viewers on YouTube, 1 on Twitch. So we're making an impact there, and on Facebook. We had 4 on Facebook. So nice activity. I want to see them in the comments, in the chat room. Be active. Share their thoughts. It's nice that we have guests on the screen, and they're engaged in delivering their
They're entranced, Ed. They're
commentary.
wrapped up in what we're doing on screen. That they're just caught up. So
Greg K, where are you? He was our go-to guy for that back in the fall semester. So,
yeah.
And as we said before, we put these episodes out on our podcast on Sounder FM, so folks can listen wherever they are. They can take it to the beach on a snowy day in the winter. But great having Zach, Corey, Matt, Jen, and Jody on today's show. And Andrew, your hair's getting a little bit longer.
It is. Hey, we've been over this. We know what the deal is when it'll be cut. So don't worry. I can't wait to take a buzzer to it. So.
Well, I want to bring Gavin Parent back in. So if he can activate his camera, get your thoughts on what was your first day experience like as a producer on Seahawk Talk.
It's awesome. I'm very excited to be part of this team. I love the people that we bring in and the people that we can reach out to in the Sally community. So just to be part of something like this, I think it's a great opportunity for myself.
Excellent. Folks, to let you know, this guy is going to be front and center sometimes because some of his goals are going to be as a host of this show. So we're going to give him that opportunity, and we look forward to enjoying future episodes. Again, every Wednesday, 12:30 to 1 p.m. Hope to see everybody back here next week at 12:30. You can join us live because we actually go live at 12:25. So take care, everybody.
Bye now.